Well, good day, everyone. It's Ron Brown and Bob Gostisha. Huey is away. He may be here later on, but he has another commitment. So Bob and I are here to for the show today. We have a big show for you today. So we're probably going to start fairly early. I'm going to get right into it. Huey and I both have prepared pre-recorded segments for you. And the first one, they're going to be really popular. You're really going to like them. The first one will be on the new Flex operating system, which is, Huey will explain that. He's got about an 18-minute video on that. And it's, there was Neverware, which of course was a company bought out by Google. And it allowed you to put your Chrome OS on a PC. Well, it never really worked that well. At least I could never get it to work that well. But Google bought it and now re-released it. And it's just been released this past month. And there is a flurry of activity about it. Everyone's talking about it. Tons of videos on how to do this. So I think you'll have a really good time listening to Huey's talk. And then I have, of course, Chrome OS 98, lots of new features in there and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the videos going right away. Huey will probably join us later on, and at the end
I'm not even going to wait till then. I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Are you back already?
Yes.
You probably want me to make you co-host too. Oh, you are a co-host. Yeah, you're still.
Yeah, we're good. Just continue on. You're doing well.
All right. I guess I got to keep my socks pulled up now, eh? There you go. So we're going to start right away. And then at the end, we're going to have the 15 or 20 minute Q&A, and we can answer any questions. Now, just to let you know that these two videos that you're about to see are sort of the type of videos that you will want to go over and listen to them again and again, because there's a lot of technical information in them. So these are both being posted, and they are on either huey.net or on the Tech for Senior site. So they individually are posted, but then of course the Learning Chromebook session as well will be posted, and we'll be getting it out to you as well. So they will, so because these are sort of videos that you'll want to probably rewatch, because there's a lot of information in them.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Introduction to Chrome OS Flex. I'm Huey Poplock. Last week, Google announced Chrome OS Flex. It is similar to Neverware's Cloud Ready. Google acquired Neverware over a year ago in December of 2020. Chrome OS has become popular thanks in part to its simplicity, the backing of a large and well-resourced company, and its easy-to-use management tools for schools and businesses. With Flex, Google is offering those organizations the opportunity to switch their Windows laptop fleets to Chrome OS fleets virtually overnight, while also giving users of aging PCs an alternative OS to try. Chrome OS Flex, like Cloud Ready, can be quickly installed on a USB drive with 8 gigabytes of space or more, and can even run from there if you choose. Just like Cloud Ready, Chrome OS Flex can be fully installed on the device of your choosing with a single button on the lock screen. Like Cloud Ready, you can write the OS image to your USB drive with any device that runs Chrome, and it is free to use on individual devices as long as you wish. There are some notable differences and upgrades between Flex and Cloud Ready. The official Chrome browser, colors, and logo are now in Flex. Update cycle. Updates match Chrome OS release cycles. Google Assistant. Google Assistant is supported, same as on the Chrome OS. Geolocation. Geolocation accuracy, settings, and policies now match Chrome. Family Link accounts. Managed Family Link accounts can be created and used. Connected devices. Settings and integrations for connected devices like Smart Lock instant tethering, and much more now work in Flex. Nearby sharing. Files and web pages can be shared with nearby devices. Remote desktop from the admin console. Remote control of managed devices is possible from the admin console. And licensing, unlike the education and enterprise editions of Cloud Ready, Chrome OS Flex will not carry any standalone license cost. In other words, it's free. Serial numbers, like Chromebooks, the new Chrome OS Flex installs will use a device's serial number as its primary unique identifier, if one is available and valid. Now, the differences between Flex and the Chrome OS. While the Chrome OS is exclusively available for Chromebooks, the Chrome OS Flex can be downloaded and installed on any computer with Windows or Mac OS. The Chrome OS devices contain a Google security chip that helps to protect the system, but the Chrome OS Flex devices do not, as the OS is downloadable on third-party systems. Chrome OS devices directly manage their updates, while the Chrome OS Flex updates are provided by original equipment manufacturers. One of the biggest differences and downside to the Chrome OS Flex is that it does not support Android applications or Google Play. Since Chrome OS Flex is installed on devices that do not have a similar layout as those of the Chrome OS devices, some shortcuts might not work while using Chrome OS Flex. Yet another disadvantage of the Chrome OS Flex is that it does not support fingerprint readers, face recognition cameras, stylus, and other pen-related inputs, and CD/DVD drives. There are certified models lists, and it includes many of the brands of computers that you may come in contact with. And the model status could be verified to work, minor issues expected, and major. Mine, I have a HP, which is not included in a list of streams. Therefore, mine does not fall into any category of verification. But you can see that different models do have different designations. You create the USB installer, you create a boot device using the USB installer, you start using the Chrome OS Flex, set up and enroll Chrome OS Flex devices, and get help with the Chrome OS Flex. And here are some links which I will put in the description on YouTube. Get the Chrome Recovery Utility from the Chrome Web Store. Go to the Chrome Web Store, and you can do this on your PC. You install the Chromebook Recovery Utility from the Chrome Web Store as an extension to Chrome. You'll notice here it says remove from Chrome because I've already got it installed. And yours, it will say install. You do have to make sure you turn it on. So you do have to go into the settings, find the Chromebook Recovery Utility, and make sure you turn it on. Now, your various steps, you identify your Chromebook. Now it says select a manufacturer. You have to be careful here that when you do that, what you're going to want to find is the Google Chrome OS Flex, not your brand of computer. You want the Google Chrome OS Flex. The next step is to insert your USB flash drive or SD card and identify it, and then tell it to continue. When you tell it to continue, it's ready to create a recovery image. Note, important, all data and partitions on your recovery media will be deleted. Then you click Create Now, and it creates your image. You're now ready to run or install Flex. Once you do, you will see that you will get the Chrome version is 100, which is ahead of version 98, which is what you will have on your Chromebook. So you have your USB stick, and you plug it into your USB slot on your computer. You have to be able to boot from your USB drive. So in order to do that, each manufacturer has its own boot key, and as soon as you turn it on, you start hitting that key. On mine, it was F9. As I did it, it came up, and this is what I got with the boot manager. It showed 3 devices. What I chose was the USB drive. When I clicked on that, it started my Chrome OS Flex. And you'll notice down on the bottom left, it's the 4th button over is Install Cloud Ready. So you can run it from the USB stick, or once you have run it and tested it, you can then install the Cloud Ready. Because this is a test version, it still says Cloud Ready, but you can install your Chrome OS Flex. When you run it from your USB stick, this is what it will look like when you click on the launcher. And you can just run it. You will notice that my USB stick has got a little light on it, which is flickering the whole time, showing that it is running from that USB stick. Once I installed it on my computer, when I started the computer, instead of running from the USB stick, it started from the hard drive and started Chrome and gave me the typical login screen or lock screen of a Chromebook. And you'll notice that that install is not present because it is already installed. I sign into my account and I'm ready to go. You'll notice up at the top right-hand corner on that lock screen, it tells you which version you are running. And again, it does not have the install on the bottom because it's already installed. Okay, let's do the demo. I'm using my HP Stream 11-inch laptop that I bought for testing Windows 11. I've installed the Chrome OS Flex on it. It has 32 gigabytes of storage. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM. Not a very powerful unit. It does not have a touch screen. It does have a trackpad, but I am using a mouse plugged in to a USB port, and it is wireless. And I have plugged into the speaker jack a headset that has a microphone and headphone. And that's all I'm using with this unit. So I say I'm using a mouse, so it makes it a little easier for me to maneuver. And let's take a look at some of the new features of the Flex from Google. As you'll see, the launcher launches a new view of the Launchpad. I was under the impression from one of the articles I read prior to me getting the Flex that this automatically was in the version that I could download and install. What happened was it was the old launcher, and I had to go in and set a flag. I won't go into how to do that. There are articles on how to do it, but it was very simple, very easy, and I turned it on. So now at the top, we have a search box at the top. You can have some of the latest documents or items that you were working with. Then the latest items that you opened. And then below it are all of the apps that are loaded on this Chrome OS Flex machine. Let's start looking at Chrome, the browser. As soon as I opened it up, because I am logged into my account, everything was there when I installed the Flex and logged into my account. So it looks just like my Chromebook. It looks just like my Windows machine. It has all of the quick access on here. It has all of my bookmarks. And let's take a look at a bookmark. Let's go to Bob's blog to show you that it's working. I can go down here. Here's an article about Tech for Seniors, episode 100. If I click on Read More, I get the entire article, and I can use the Evernote, and I can capture the article, either the whole article or a simplified article, just like I do on my PC or like I do on my Chromebook. I'm not going to save it, but just show you that the extensions, most of the extensions work. Now you do have to remember that the programs that you run from the launcher, when you look at them, even though I have on my Chromebook a lot more, the ones that aren't showing up here are the Android apps. Because if you'll notice, there is the web store, but there is no Google Play Store. And so you can't run any of the Android apps. There are enough apps installed by default, plus what you have online, to certainly use this as a computer without any problems. Let's take a look at a few of these. I can open up my Microsoft Office because I have a 365 account, but even if I didn't, I could have Office there. It goes out to the web. It is signed into my account already. I might have to, or you might have to sign into your account if you're not there by default, but I have, so I can open up Word, I can open up Excel or a PowerPoint, I can see what's out on my OneDrive, other documents, PowerPoints, and so on that I have recently opened are here in this Google OS Flex. So I can use Office. But if I want to, I can still go out to the launcher and find Google Docs. You see how quick it is? It's real time. I'm not trying to speed these things up, but you can see that my previous articles are there. I can create a blank article. I can do anything with Google Docs that I could on any of the Chrome or Windows computers, or even on a Mac. So much for the programs and apps. Now let's take a look at files. What do we have for files? It's right here. When we open it, we have my download folder on my internal drive, which is only 32 gigabytes, and I'm using the operating system on it. I haven't found a way to tell how much storage is being used on that drive, but I can go out to my USB drive. I do have a slot for a USB SD card, and I have a mini SD card in here that's 64 gigabytes. And so that's sitting out there. So I can actually go out and I can look at some photos that are sitting there. So there's Peter Norton and me many years ago, Joe Walsh, and here is Danica Patrick, the NASCAR and race car driver, and Bill Gates talking about Office 2000, and Sulu from Star Trek, and myself. Those are some pictures I had stored on that external drive. Now I can also look at my Google Drive. As we look here and go to my Google Drive, here's all of the folders and files that I have on Google Drive. I have a folder that I've done some screen captures and put out on my Google Drive so I can then download them to my Windows machine and put them in the PowerPoint that I showed you earlier. So all of those files are available as well. I do want to show you an app called Cog. I've demonstrated this before on Learning Chromebooks. I do want to show you what Cog shows you. It shows the operating system, which is version 100. It's showing our CPU usage and the temperatures. And as we scroll down, it does tell us how much memory we have. And I think I've mentioned I have 4 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage built in. And then I have a 64 gigabyte SD card also installed. It does show us an external storage, but only the 64 gigabyte SD card. It does not show the internal drive or the internal storage. I have another app called System, and it also does not tell me when I look at storage. It only shows the one drive. It does not show me the internal. So I have not found a way for the Flex to tell me about internal storage, how much I've actually used. I'm still searching for that. There's one other drawback that I have found of the Flex system, and that is when this computer times out and shuts down, I have to actually hit the start button. There is no way to start it by just clicking enter or to restart it that way. Closing and opening the screen also does not start the computer immediately. I have to use the on-off button. This has been my introduction to Chrome OS Flex, turning a PC into a Chromebook using version 100 of Flex. And I'm Huey Poplock. Thanks for joining.
It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Chrome OS 98. I'll be showing you 7 new features this updated operating system has. Now, this is part of a series that Huey Poplock and I do monthly called Learning Chromebooks. If you are interested in participating, simply click the link below and you can register for our monthly event. We spend about an hour going over the new features in the Chrome operating system. Today I'll be talking about the new Chrome OS 98 and 7 new features you can use on your Chromebook. If you like this video, please click the like and subscribe. Let's get on with the show. I would like to talk about the Chrome OS setting flag, F-L-A-G. We are now having monthly updates of the Chrome operating system. This will lead to many new features, some of which will be sitting behind flags. Now, what does that mean, and how do we get to the flag menu? There are really 3 menus for settings that you can get on your Chromebook. So let's see what these are. So most of you are familiar. If we come down to the right side, we're simply going to click on this. We'll get rid of our calendar, and we're going to come over to Settings, which is right here. We're going to click on Settings, and this will, of course, bring you back up to the traditional setting that you all understand and use. Now, we're going to get out of here, but there's another setting that you can come to, and we're going to come up, and this is the Chrome browser setting. In the early days of Chromebooks, there were 2 different areas that you could find settings. There was within your, of course, Chrome OS, which I just showed you, but also there were, if you come up here, this is your Chrome browser. Your Chrome browser actually has settings. As we come down here, you'll see this is settings. When we click this, you will see it says, if a setting doesn't show, look in your Chrome OS settings. So Google now has made all the settings for a Chromebook in the original settings menu I showed you. If you come to the browser settings, it will just refer you back to the Chrome OS settings, as this does by clicking this button here. But what I want you to do is I want you to come up into the browser, and what we're going to do is we're going to type the word flags, and we're going to hit enter. And this is going to bring you up to the flag menu in the Chrome browser. Now, this has all the features that are just about ready for public release. Many of these settings will be enabled for the next version to come out. A lot of the new Chrome features require you to manually turn on the flag to allow those features to work. This doesn't mean they're developmental or experimental features. This just means they haven't been turned on for that particular edition of the operating system. You'll see here I have a number of features enabled. And let's look at the first one here, and we'll be talking about these a little bit later. Drag window to new desk. This is a feature I have enabled. Now, if you come down here, you'll see that by default it will not be enabled, and we can either enable it or we can disable it. Once we've done that, we will need a restart of your Chromebook to allow these features to be active. Each month when I describe new features in the Chrome operating system,
there may be flags required to make the feature work. I will put that in the show notes and also at the beginning of the segment to indicate what flags you need to change to make the feature work. You can also do multiple flags and then just do one reboot of your Chromebook, which I would recommend. In Chrome OS 98, you have the ability to log into your Chromebook using your smartphone. Why would you want to do this? What are our other options? Well, if we go back and look at Chromebooks back in the beginning, when you logged into your Chromebook, you required your Google account password. For those of you who had strong passwords, suppose you went and had LastPass draw you up a complicated 10-digit password that you'd never remember. This became a huge problem because every time you needed to log into your Chromebook, you needed to use this complex password. This proved very, very cumbersome. So a number of years ago, Chrome OS allowed you to create a PIN code to log in with. And you were able to choose whether you wanted a PIN or password. Well, just a minute. In the early stages, you didn't get the choice. Google did the choice. And they alternated back and forth between PIN and password. It still was a huge problem because a lot of times they just made you put that password in rather than using a simplified PIN. Over the past couple of years, this has changed. And my experience in the last 6 months is that it rarely, if ever, asks me for my Google password. It lets me use a PIN number. Let's just go over and see how this works. As you see on the screen here, you'll see that we now are in the security. We've gone to settings, security, and privacy, and we're going to come up to the log screen and sign in. And we're going to look at PIN or password. When we click this, we're prompted to enter our Google password. Once we have entered our Google password, we then have the opportunity now to set parameters. We're able to look at, this is the lock screen and sign in. Now, you have the option of looking at the lock screen from when you go from waking to sleeping. And once the lock screen comes up from sleep mode, then you have the opportunity of choosing a password, or you can choose a PIN or a password. And this is now it used to be a 4-digit code, but it is a 6-digit code that you have to use. You can certainly change the PIN, and you can say that unlock automatically once the PIN has entered. And you'll see I have those toggled on. Now what we're going to talk about today is Smart Unlock. This is where you can unlock your Chromebook from your phone. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look and see. Now, as you can see, I have it set up and is turned on. Let's learn a little more about this. So you can unlock your Chromebook with your Android phone. Let's learn how to do this. Let's see what you'll need first of all. What you need for your Chromebook, you'll need a connected Android phone. You'll need an internet connection, and you'll need to sign in to the same account as your phone. For your phone, you'll need an Android version L-MR1 and up. Your phone will need to be unlocked. Bluetooth will need to be turned on, and the screen lock setup turned on. To set up Smart Lock on your Chromebook, you will need your Chromebook. At the bottom right, select the time, select settings, and under connected devices, select your Android phone. Select Smart Lock select Unlock Device and sign into your Google account. So let's see how to do this. Now we're going to go to Settings, and we're going to come into Settings, and over on the left side you're going to see Connected Devices. We're now going to come over to the right, and you'll see it says Android phone. Let's click Setup. And we're going to come down here, and it's going to tell you that we're going to select a phone that we're going to connect with. And I'm going to choose my Pixel 3. I have a Pixel 6, but I'm going to choose the Pixel 3. We have sync Wi-Fi network with your phone, offer other features when they become available. We are going to accept. And again, we're going to enter our password. Click Done. And we are ready to go. So now let's come up to, it now recognizes our Pixel 3 phone. We're going to come over to the right, and we're going to click our button here. Again, we'll enter our password. Lots of security. And now we have enabled this. We're going to click this little caret to the right, and you'll see here that we have now enabled this feature. And let's look at Smart Lock. We're going to come over here, and I'm going to turn Smart Lock on. And now we've turned on Smart Unlock. Let's learn a little bit more about it. Now we have a choice. We can either unlock the device only, or we can unlock the device and sign in to our Google account. As part of the syncing to your smartphone, you can also enable instant tethering, messages. We can use your phone as a hub, and you also can Wi-Fi sync. These are other features we'll probably discuss in another video. So now when you come to the login for your Chromebook, you'll be prompted with 3 choices. You'll be able to use your Google password, you'll be able to use your 6-digit PIN number, or you will be able to use your smartphone. What will happen is you will simply unlock your smartphone either using a code to your phone. You can use any of the biometrics you use to unlock your smartphone. In my case, I use a fingerprint scanner. This allows me to instant access to my Chromebook. From a practical point of view, I mostly use the PIN code. In the morning when I'm using my Chromebook, I often don't have my phone with me, so it just doesn't offer a lot of advantages. But in your specific situation, this can be a very good feature. And that's how you set it up. All right, let me show you some new site settings in Chrome OS 98. This is my Google Calendar app that I have on my screen. So if you come up and we come to the Omni bar here, let's come over to the right, and you'll see this this little share button here. Let's click this, and now you'll see, isn't this going to be great? The copy button right here. Because remember, do you remember how difficult if you wanted to send this to somebody, and this is the URL that you wanted to copy, that you have to, backspace and try and drag this along like this. And when you're using your trackpad, sometimes this isn't always so easy. Now it's very simple. You just come up, click this button, click copy, and now it's copied to the clipboard. And we can easily just paste it into an email. And we come down here, right click, and we'll just paste it right into the email. And there you go. So that is so cool. It's just this this is a new feature in Chrome OS 98, the share button, and they have the copy command now easily available for you. Now the next thing in site settings I want to show you is we're going to come up to our URL here, and this can be any website. We're just going to use this one. And if we click the little lock box here, it's going to come down, and now we have a lot of different options here, and you can see the permissions for this site. And if you look here, you'll see notifications. If you don't want to get notifications from this site, then we can just turn this off. So you can toggle it on or off. So each site you go to now, you can actually look at the site permissions just by coming up here and clicking on the little box just to the left of the URL. Now I'd like to talk about the new features of virtual desktops in Chrome OS 98. Now, as you know, you can get to the virtual desktops by hitting the overview key on your keyboard, and this will bring up the virtual desktops that you can see on the top of my screen. And you can click each one, will bring up a different desktop. Now, we also can get to the virtual desktops by doing a 3-finger swipe up on the trackpad. So we can use the trackpad with a 3-finger swipe up, or we can use the overview key to toggle to our virtual desktop. So virtual desktops are an important topic, and I think people who use Chromebooks don't use them enough. One of the great productivity tools I use is multiple monitors. I have different windows open on each monitor. It makes my efficiency so much better. But many people don't have a second monitor, and this is a great way by using virtual desktops to accomplish this. And I'm going to show you today how virtual desktops work, and also the improvements and changes that have been made in Chrome OS 98. So let's have a look and see how virtual desktops on our Chromebook will help us with increased efficiency and productivity. This is an example of my Chromebook screen. And if you look at the top, you'll see I have a number of applications open. I have Google Calendar, I have Google Podcasts, I have My Drive, and I have a spreadsheet open. Now, this is just an example I'm going to give you of how your day may be set up. I've titled this Work. Now, this may be the menu that I will use every day when I come to work with my Chromebook. Now, I'm just using this as an example. Yours, of course, will be very different. But the point that I'm making is that this may be the menu that you will use every day. So let's see how we can use virtual desktop to make our life easier. Now we're going to hit the overview key. Now this is going to bring up this menu, and again you will see at the top we have our virtual desktops. Now templates is a new one. I want you to pay attention to templates, and also this on the left hand side, Save Desk as Template. We'll come to that. This is the part that's new for Chrome OS 98. But as you know, we can add up to 8 virtual desktops. Now, when we came to these are the windows that we have open on our Chromebook right now. Has already made a virtual desktop with Desk 2. I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to title this Test. I already have a home virtual desktop, which I saved before, but with these recent applications open, these 4 applications, I'm going to save this as a test, which automatically will go into a virtual desktop, desk number 2. Now we can save, as I said, up to 8 desktops, and you can toggle between each desktop, so you can have multiple windows open, different windows on each desktop, and just toggle through. The thing that you need to know about these desktops is that while the desktops will stay up there, the contents of the desktop will go away when you reboot your computer. So they're not permanent. While the desktops will stay there and the names will stay there, the contents of the desktop do not stay once you reboot your computer. This was a bit of a challenge because obviously when we set this up, we would like it to be there each time we come back to use our Chromebook. So with Chrome OS 98, you now have the template option and you can save these as templates. Now if you look over at the template list that I have, if you click on this, you will see that I have 3 templates. I made a template up for health, which has my health app. I made a template up for home, which has the various windows open for home, and I have one for work. These are examples of how you might want to set it up, but you have a choice of 8 different virtual desktops that of course you can toggle through. So double-clicking on the test one brings us back to our desktop, which again has our 4 applications opened. Let's say I want to move to my health app. I can go to the overview. I can choose templates, and maybe I want to do some health work. And if I click on this, then of course here is my blood pressure monitoring app that I use. So one of the big advantages of the virtual desktop is you can set your windows up as you want. You can actually set the formatting up so that they come in at different levels or different positions on the screen, and it will save that for you as well. Let me show you an example. We're going to hit the overview button and we're going to come up again. Let's come to my template, and you'll see I have 3 templates. And let's look at the health app. We'll click on this, and this of course is bringing up the health app. Now I purposely left the window not as full screen and in a different location so that you could see how this would look. So you could have 3 or 4 apps organized on the screen how you wish and formatted nicely to use, and it would save all that formatting. All right, let's look at this screen. I have 2 applications open. I have Google Chrome open, and I have it set to a news feed called Feedly. This is where each day I look at my news information. I have this open as a home to Feedly. So open an app called Google News, and this is also where I get news information. So these 2 windows are always open when I come to my office so that I can review the daily news. Let's go to the overview now. And what you'll see now in the overview is you'll see that in fact Chrome OS has now made desktop 3 for these 2 items to be used. So I can toggle now between these various desktops. Whenever I toggle to desktop 3, it will bring up these 2 applications. The problem, as I mentioned before, is that when you reboot your computer, this will go away. So we're going to save this as a template. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to click on Save This as a Template. And now it will save this as Desk 3 as a template. And I'm going to rename this News. So now when I can certainly go to my health app, I can go to my home, I can go to my work. But now when I want to bring up the news, I simply click this, and this will bring up those 2 applications as they were saved on my desktop for news. So you see how you can build your desktop up and make this more efficient, as you can toggle through whatever desktops you've saved. And these will be saved each time you do reboot your computer. And again, this is new in Chrome OS 98. Now let's come back to our our example again, I'm going to come to our new section, which is here. Now, let's say you want to create a desktop, but you want to put Google News only in it. You don't want Feedly in. So watch what happens here as I drag this application up, and I can drop it into Desktop 4. This again, the drag and drop is a new feature in Chrome OS 98, so that you can actually take applications and drag them and drop them into a virtual desk. Again, this is a new feature in Chrome OS 98. New for Chrome OS 98 is the ability to switch between virtual desktop using a new shortcut. The shortcut is Shift plus Search, and then you can choose the number of the desktop you want. Let's have a look at this. I told you before, you can use a 3-finger swipe up on your trackpad, which will give you the overview button. You can get that to the same place by simply clicking the overview button, and that will bring up the virtual desktop menu. Now you can see here that we have virtual desktop. The first one is called Home, then Desktop 2, Work and Health. So let's say that we're now in the Health app, and we want to move to the next virtual desktop. Now we can use the Shift key and the Search key, which we pushed here, both those together, and we can choose the numbers on the keypad to go to the specific desktop we want. If we want desktop 1, we can choose that. We want desktop 2, we hit 2, or we want desktop 3. And you can move specifically to the virtual desktop that you want. For example, if we wanted desktop 1, we would just hit 1, and if we wanted desktop 3, we could hit 3. So you don't actually have to cycle through all of them to get to the specific one you want. Again, this is very handy when you're trying to move into a specific desktop that may have multiple applications open. New for Chrome OS 98. All right, another great feature with Chrome OS 98 is the launch button. Let's go down and see how the launcher is changed now. Let's click this, the launch button at the bottom left. Isn't that great? You now see it comes up as a window. Remember in the past when you click the launcher, it just took over the whole screen. We now have it in a window. So as we look at the window now, you'll see, of course, these are the last 5 apps that we've had open. Let's come down here to our apps. We can now scroll through these and have a look at them. And if we right-click, we can now reorder. And we can reorder by name. We can do alphabetical, reverse alphabetical, or we can order them by color. I'm not sure how much that is a big advantage, but certainly by name. So if I wanted to reverse alphabetical, I'm just going to click this, and bingo, all the apps are in a reverse order for me, starting with Z. If we want to come back now and we want to reorder them by alphabetical, we'll just click this, and again we start with A for Amazon. This is a big improvement over past versions. With Chrome OS 98, we have an improved screen capture tool that now allows you to select which location new captures will be sent to when created. Before, they were automatically dumped into the Downloads folder in the Chrome OS Files app. But for anyone who is familiar with how said local folder works, anything that resides there is wiped out if you clean your Chromebook when it crashes or burns. That's why the ability to select a safe location in Google Drive or on an external storage device like a thumb drive or a hard drive is so essential and welcome. For today's demonstration, I'm going to create a new folder. So we're going to come up to the top right here, and I'm just going to create a new folder called Image Scan. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the right side now, and we're going to open up our screen capture here, and we are going to select an area that we want to capture, and we're going to come down here before we actually do this, and we're going to see where it says Save To. I'm going to click this, Save To, and I'm going to come down to Select a Folder. And now we're going to come down, and we're going to, instead of going to our Downloads folder, we can now choose Image Scan. Now it copies it to clipboard, but we're going to come up here and say Show in Folder. And here it is in the folder, My Files, Image Scan, and we've now put our screen capture in the folder we want. So you can choose, if you have an external drive, Google Drive, wherever you want to put the screen captures. You do not have to store them now in your downloads directory. Remember, your downloads directory will be wiped out if you reformat your or you do a power wash of your Chromebook. So putting your screenshots in a safe place is often a good idea. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Chrome OS 98, 7 new features. It's a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next month. Remember, like and subscribe, and please, if you want to attend our learning.
Okay. All right. Lots of information. So where's Huey?
Yeah, I'm here.
They're here.
Just a quick note. You mentioned setting up the flags, and I had mentioned in mine about that, but I didn't go into detail. So I'm glad I didn't, because you did. So even though we work separately, we worked together. So that was that came out good. And there was something else that you did. Oh, you showed how you can make some changes in the new desktop,
In the launcher.
the new launcher. And I had to set the flag for mine, and I haven't gone in. What I was just trying to do, I can't remember how you get the various desktops to show. I was trying to duplicate that on my Flex machine, and I couldn't, but I don't remember how to get into it.
Oh, I don't know of virtual desktops. Well, I don't. If you maybe you could test that out and see if you hit the.
Yeah, I'm just asking, how do you open it up so you see them at the top?
On Flex, well, you see on a Chromebook, you use the
No,
overview.
I'm on a Chromebook. How do you do it?
Oh, just the overview key. Just on the top, there'd be the or a 3-finger
Oh,
swipe.
there is no overview key in this, so I don't.
Yeah,
so
on
I
a
don't.
PC, you see, you don't have an
I'm-
overview key.
Yeah, and I'm not sure whether they're there or not. So that feature, I'm not sure is available in Flex, and it may
Yes.
not be.
It may not be. Good point.
I'll have to do some checking on that.
That is for sure something we have to look at. So again, what I mentioned earlier is that these are the type of videos that you'll probably want to go back and play over and over again, and because there's a lot of technical information there. I did want to mention the flag issue because as we move forward in each month and we talk about different versions of Chrome, there will be new features for that, but they're often sitting behind flags. So it's important for you to know what flags to turn on and turn off. And so I've given you that. And also in the video that I've just played, the flags are all listed in the description below the video as well. So you can find out which ones that you need to turn on or off to make those features work. And Jolyn, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm so I can get it straight in my head. The majority of what you showed us today didn't come with 98, but it is available if you go in and turn on flags.
Yeah, you'll have to, I think there was 3 that needed flags and 3
Because I tried to get the templates to show up and no, and I don't, of course, don't have the new launcher either.
Right.
So that's
So
all
you'll need
flag
to-
related.
Yeah, and that's why in the beginning of each of those segments, it said, do you need flags or do you not need flags? And then it tells you what flags that you need. So
Yeah, to me, that's just such a pain to have to go and do that because there's dozens and dozens and dozens of flags. So if you get in there and wander around, you can get lost. So just be careful when you do it is all, is what I'm
Be
thinking.
careful. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to do. And in the
Pretty easy to screw up.
well, you can't really. I mean, if you turn them, you can also there's an option there just to reset all the flags to zero again if you don't.
Okay.
You know,
But
I
then you
mean,
don't know what, then you don't know what you had that worked. So you should take a screenshot of what you have so that you know that if you turn everything off, you can go back and at least turn on some of them.
but
So
the
it's
the
just,
thing, like for example, the new launcher is great. I mean, that's a really cool feature, and it's much better than the old launcher. So I would really want to turn that on. And
okay,
if you don't turn the flags on, you can't see
you
it.
can't do the new. The other thing is, I don't have I have control and shift. I don't have a search key.
That's your
Uh,
launcher key.
It's a launcher. It's the launcher key.
Yeah, but I hit shift. I hit them both and nothing worked. So,
You'll have to
it's
turn the flag on.
okay. Well, that's why that makes no sense to me.
If you got a Chromebook, correct?
Yeah,
The key that has the
I
magnifying
know the
glass.
launcher key, but that's not what he
Yeah.
was saying. And he was demonstrating something that I don't have.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
way
yeah,
you
that's it. That the same key that I want to get to the desktop, I guess. Is that the one?
yeah, it doesn't work.
Okay.
So, okay, thanks. Enough from me. Appreciate it.
Bill, go ahead.
Which bill?
I have the new launcher, but when I right click on an icon, I don't get where I can reorder it by alphabetical order. So I don't know what I'm doing.
You haven't set the
Wrong.
flags. There were 3 flags that you had to set for the launcher to do the alphabetical order. Okay.
Ah,
So there's
thank you.
3 flags,
That's-
and that was in the video that I just showed you, and it'll be in the notes. There's 3 flags that you have to turn on to make. You will, if you don't turn all the flags on, one of the flags starts the launcher, but the reorder of the is another flag. So there's 3 flags that you need to turn on.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I
guess you
missed that. I can do that. Thank you.
Go back and have a look at it again. I put it right at the beginning of each segment if it needs flags and what the flags are.
And
All
those
right,
flags,
thank you.
those choices are also in the Flex version.
Mhm.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
love the new launcher. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. The launcher is
Yep.
great. The other one I showed you last month was that calendar. I mean, that's a flag as well.
I have that too. I have the calendar.
Yeah, that's
I like
great.
that too.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep, I have the calendar.
Yeah.
I
Go
just
ahead.
missed those other flags. I'll do that.
Yeah. Just check. There's 3 flags for the launcher for the new menu on there, and that's great because again, it doesn't take up the whole screen. It just changes the whole, and that will probably be in Chrome OS 98. Bob, you've got 100 now. Does it come up
Yep.
automatically in yours? Does it must be.
Haven't played with it, don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be the next, or it could even be an update that comes between now and next month when it's just you don't have to do the flag anymore. So
Yeah, Ron, I wanted to mention that for people who are on here that are using Chromebooks because it's simple and they don't have to understand a lot of this stuff. When the flags are really like a beta version. And so when it becomes part of Chrome, which will probably be the next version, be 99, it'll just be there. So don't worry about it. If going into the flags and changing that sort of thing concerns you or confuses you, just don't worry about it when it's ready and part of the operating system. It will be there.
go ahead, Bill.
Yes, I agree with Jolan on the history and stuff of what works and what doesn't. And in my 30 years of consulting, I ran through this. And what I did was actually set up a folder called RTS for Round Trip Services, the name of my company. And so every computer I've worked on in those 30 years, you can go back to that folder and I would take a screenshot of what was working, what didn't, what troubles the client was having. And even after I'm gone, they can go back to those old computers and find what did and did not work. So that's something you might consider, Joel, and if you want to know what you did do and what you didn't, or anyone else.
Already track all the help I've given in the last, well, since 1982. So I do that. It's excellent
Okay.
idea. Excellent idea. But I've got it. Thank you.
Okay. Good enough.
Right. And just to let you know, I mean, we always get nervous when we went into Windows and we edited registries and we get into some big trouble. But you really can't get into any trouble with flags. It's a pretty simple concept. And you know, if you don't like it, you turn it off, right? And it won't get you into. And the ones that we recommend, the flags that I recommend these are almost ready for a full version. And these are really not production. These are Chrome OS 98 features, right?
And ones that you have tested.
Yeah, these are tested.
Yeah.
These are Chrome OS 98
Yeah.
features.
I have used regedit for 30, 40 years. I love it.
Yeah. Not
Flags,
me. I don't touch
flags,
it.
but flags bother me. Registry doesn't.
Oh, yeah, but I don't never touch
Regedit can get you into lots and lots of trouble if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, exactly.
Flags aren't going to do that.
Ah, okay.
Okay, that's the big difference. Changing a flag, and if it doesn't work, so what? It won't kill the rest of it.
That's right.
But doing a wrong move in the registry, you could not have, you'd have a system that won't boot.
I've never, ever had trouble with it.
The other thing you got to remember is that now as we're moving, and this is a fast-paced movement, each month we're going to see a lot of new features happening. It's not like before when we have 2 or 3 months before each version. We're going to have 99 is going to be out in another couple of weeks, then then there'll be 100, and each time we're going, there'll be all sorts of crazy good features that you'll want to have. And so I think it's worthwhile knowing how to do this, because it's really not very difficult. And as Bob said, you can't get yourself into any trouble. So just
basically using flags is a way of getting those things early.
Yeah,
if you're not comfortable with it, wait another next or the one after that, and they'll be there automatically.
That's right.
One caution on version 100 that's coming to your Chromebook, and then if you're using Flex or you're using the beta, some websites are going to have trouble with version 100. They're built to have a 2-position version number, and if there's a 3 version, it's kind of like the 2000 fiasco that really didn't materialize, that everybody was expecting a real serious problem, but some websites may have a problem with it. So just be aware of that in advance.
And please give virtual desktops a try. I mean, it is really a big feature in Chromebooks, and will help you a lot, particularly if you only have one monitor.
How much RAM does that use?
I don't, from my research and my testing, it doesn't seem to require it. It's not like Windows. It doesn't require a lot, and it seems to work on all machines. I haven't had any problem on any of the ones that I've tested. Give it a try, and it really is pretty slick. It allows you to have a whole bunch of predefined apps open, and you can just boom, and they're ready to go. So it is pretty cool, and it's a great feature on Chrome OS.
It should work on 4 gigabytes of RAM. If you have a real old machine or a real inexpensive machine that only came with 2 gigabytes, probably it won't work, or you'll have problems with it. But a lot of the newer machines now, the middle priced ones especially, and above, are starting to come with 8 gigabytes of RAM.
And use your phone. Try your phone to unlock your Chromebook. I think that's a cool feature. It works great. Bill, go ahead.
You're muted.
I found one problem with that yesterday. I couldn't find my phone.
Yeah, well, that's if you can still use your PIN code or your password, it doesn't matter, but it is pretty cool, and it does if you have your phone with you, it's great. It just works perfect, so you don't have to be typing in passwords or pins.
The phone was with me. It was just behind a bag.
Yeah, yeah. And for sure, if you're struggling with passwords, make sure you put a PIN code in, because the PIN code just works so much better than your password. Dennis, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Dennis, unmute yourself.
Hey, Ron, you referred to the overview key,
Right.
but they're not. What does it look like, the symbol? Because I don't know which one it might be, or if I have.
If you have a Chromebook, you'll have an overview key. It's
I think it's above the 5.
right. It's above
No,
the
it's above
5
the-
on mine. It's
It's
right
the
above the
6
number
one
5.
over, or the 6 one over.
Your function keys are different. On a Chromebook, you don't have function keys. They're all different keys. And so it's important to know what those keys do. And you'll find that it varies a little bit depending on whom the manufacturer. But on my machine, it's right above the number 5.
And does it look like a little box with 2 lines next to it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I was looking for, the description of the symbol.
Yes,
So let me
that's why
say
I-
this. I opened up my wife's Chromebook. I started, Google Chrome, the internet, and then I went to the email and opened up, the link to go to Zoom. So I have the Zoom window that I'm looking at right now on the Chromebook. And then behind that, I have the internet thing. So when I press that rectangle with the 2 lines, I see 2 panels like I saw on one of Ron's screens. I see a panel with my Zoom, and I see a panel with my internet open windows. But I don't see anything across the top, like Ron had, like for other desktops.
You don't see any desktops at the top there above?
No, it's all just the 2 windows that I have open now are side by side, but nothing across the top. Oh, wait, way up on top, there's a
Move the
tiny
cursor up
little
there.
button that says Desk 1.
Yep.
That's right.
And next to that is a plus sign.
And if you click the plus and click the plus, then that'll put up desk 2. Those are your virtual desks.
Okay, so then now I can add to that Desk 2.
You can add to that, but it will make it should now take those 2 windows that you have open that are in there, and that should make desk number 1. They should be there for you. And so that will be your virtual desktop for your first desk. Okay.
Okay.
It'll do that automatically. It does it automatically. It puts it in desktop 1 for you.
Okay.
And so, yeah. And so if you click desktop 2, then you'll be able to put whatever you want in desktop 2.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Dorothy, go ahead.
So if you connect your phone to your Chromebook and you're traveling and you don't use your phone to get into your Chromebook, you can still get into it, right?
Yeah. You just use your PIN code or your password.
And I couldn't find, I was trying to follow along with my Chromebook, how to set up that PIN. Was it a flag or something I missed?
No, PIN's not a flag. It's just in the security setting, and you can set that up. Just have a look at the video again, and it'll show you exactly.
Like what was on the screen and what was on my Chromebook wasn't the same. So, okay.
It should be. The PIN has been around for a long time. It's right in security setting. It'll tell you PIN or password.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, PIN. Set up a PIN. It's a 6. It used to be many years ago 4-digit PIN, but now it's a 6-digit. So you got to put a 6-digit in. But it makes it so much easier than a complicated password. And the example I showed you was LastPass generates a 8 or 10-digit code for you. But I mean, to have to put that in every time you want to log into your Chromebook would drive me nuts.
So it's similar to Microsoft. So you've already kind of got
Right.
your password for your
Yep.
Google, and then this is another layer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Bill, go ahead.
Just another question. In the files applet, in mine, I do not show my Google Drive. I have OneDrive, but I don't have Google Drive, and I don't know how to add that to that. Or
It should be there. It should say My Drive. It won't
no,
say
I
Google
don't.
Drive.
I don't have
And there'll
my
be
drive.
and there'll be a down arrow next to it. When you click on that, you'll see your Google Drive.
No, for some reason I have OneDrive, but I don't have my drive, and I have USB drive.
Hmm.
I don't know why Google Drive wouldn't. I don't know why Google Drive. I've never seen that, Bill. I don't understand why Google Drive wouldn't be there.
Yeah, I don't either.
Bill, do you know? Go ahead.
I think I ran it on a USB drive. If you happen to click on it and it unloads, you have to actually reboot to get it to come back.
Right.
Right. If there's a little line, there's a little arrow or something to the right of it. If you click that, it turns it off and you don't see it. You got to reboot and it'll come back. Yes. Thank you for
Yes.
reminding me.
But I
Yeah.
don't think that's with Google Drive. That would be for an external drive.
And any drive, I think. So I think it
Well,
would do it for Google
I
Drive
see
too.
the two drives I have. I have OneDrive, which is a Microsoft thing, and then I have USB drive, and there is a up arrow, but that looks like that's used to eject the USB drive.
Yeah, but it'll eject your Google Drive too, I think.
But I don't have
If you
one
click
for
it.
Just let everyone know what we're talking about. It's a Unix issue, and what happens is with your Chromebook, if you have a USB key or a if you have a micro SD card in there, it'll show up under your files menu. You probably all have seen that. If you then, I'm not sure where, if you click on the little arrow to the left and then click it back again, it'll go away. And you wonder where the heck did it go? And it'll drive you crazy. It'll drive you absolutely, it drove me nuts until I figured out what it was. And what happens is Linux unmounts the drive. In other words, Chrome OS unmounts the drive. And the only way you can remount it and get it back in the menu is either to take the card out and put it back in or reboot the computer. And that is a real pain in the butt. So just be careful with that. It's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of come back. It hasn't been lost, but you have to reboot your computer to be able to see it again. Bill, go ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm gonna
Okay.
let my hand down.
Bill,
Yeah,
Bill
that's
H.
one
had
of
his
the
hand up.
reasons. One of the reasons why if I had my choice, when you're putting either an SD card or a USB stick and you're looking more memory for your Chromebook, it's always nicer to have the USB stick because it's easy to pull out and put back in, and then it just pops back up. Whereas if you have an SD card that's internal to your Chromebook, you have to flip the lid, the latch, and you have to pull the thing out and put it back in. It's easier just to reboot it. So just be aware of that.
I'll play around with it. Something.
Yeah, I mean, your Google Drive's got to be there. I mean, your
Yeah.
whole Chromebook's based on your Google Drive. So it's
I
got.
know. But I'm surprised the OneDrive shows up.
Yeah, that's probably just because you're linked to your Microsoft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he had a 365 to the Chromebook,
Right,
definitely it's going
right.
to show
It'd
up.
be
that
I have
way.
I have 365.
Yeah.
you don't
yeah.
you
So
don't think that 365 would have bumped
I don't
Drive
think,
out? It shouldn't have.
no, I don't think so.
That's really, because
I
I've
don't- I
got
don't.
I have Google Drive, but I also have my access to my Dropbox through files,
Mhm.
through the file applet. So it's
Yeah,
very
I
it's a
think I
convenient.
think I see that.
Mhm.
Let me go back.
That'd be really weird if Google Drive or if
Yeah,
Microsoft did it
something's wrong.
again. They kick Google
Exactly.
Drive. I don't think that would be a really crazy thing. Bill, go ahead.
Yes, do you lose your data, say if you have a Word document open, when you eject that drive, does your data go away?
No, it's still there. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it's automatically saved. It's not a problem. It just comes back. It's just, you know, it just it's not in the system menu. Chris, go ahead. Chris Rosinski.
I'm going to leave my video off because I'm having a little trouble with the internet. When you were able to first unlock your Chromebook with your phone, it never worked for me because if you don't have a lock on your phone, it would never turn on.
That's right. That's correct.
That was the first thing. And the second thing, I heard somebody just a minute ago said they couldn't find their phone, and that's the key that never happened today. I can't remember whether that was on Chrome Unboxed or where it was. There was a nice little article about how to find your phone from your Chromebook.
Right.
In a variety of ways.
Right. Right. But you got to be in your Chromebook first to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Chris actually wrote me an email and said, Ron, could you cover this today in the show? And it's how to find your phone from your Chromebook. That's a great article. And I was going to do a video on it, but we just ran out of time. So I'll do that for next month.
I did see a definition somewhere is what a landline is. A landline is the phone that you use to dial your cell phone when you can't find it.
That's a good one. Go ahead, Dennis.
For Huey, on that Flex, I mean, I think you were saying that, I mean, I have several really old laptops that only have 2 gigabytes of RAM. I think you're saying it probably would work. But would I be able to use a USB stick, a big USB stick, and overcome that? Or no, it's still the RAM that's on the laptop itself?
You can use a USB stick. I'm not sure what you can use it. It would be an extra drive. So if you've got a 32 gigabyte storage on that particular computer, you can put a 64 gig stick and you get that extra. But the thing is, with the stick, you can also run it from the stick. So you don't even have to install it on the computer to test it to see if it's going to work.
Right. Even though the computer itself only has like 2 gigabytes of RAM, that's no problem. I can run it totally from the stick.
Right.
It still should run, yes.
Okay.
The thing is to try it. At least you don't have to delete anything on it. You don't have to worry about anything. Just run it from the stick to see if it works. If it does, when you do install it, it is going to wipe whatever is on that Windows or Mac computer totally off. It does wipe the drive.
But not if you just keep it on the stick. Not if you run it from the stick.
But if you just run it from the stick, you're fine.
Okay.
Right. Just run it from the. I think that's a great idea, Dennis. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, theoretically, you should be able to take a real old one with minimal resources, and if you run it on the stick, it should work, right? You're just using it as really a monitor. You're just using the monitor feature of the machine.
And because you have a Google account, it'll save everything out to Google Drive.
That's right. Yeah.
And you just remember not to click that right-hand button that said to cloud, was it
Install.
cloud
Cloud ready. Yeah, cloud ready.
Install.
That's
cloud
yeah,
ready?
that's
So you just don't
yeah.
do that, and that way it runs from the stick.
yes.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be great.
And you can create that stick on your PC, so you don't even have to use. So you don't have to use another computer. You do it from the PC because it's an extension. The install program is an extension. The install to the stick, and it installs it on the stick. And then you got to make sure that the computer is one that you can get to be able to boot from the USB stick.
Yep.
So some of the older computers, you couldn't do that.
That'd be pretty old. I think anything in the
Yeah.
last 10 years, you can boot from a USB stick.
Well, you might have an 11-year-old. PC
Mine is
one track.
14 years old.
Okay. I'm excited about this. I think this is really cool. I think Flex is lots of stuff, lots of people talking about it. I think this is going to be really cool.
I think because of the Android thing, I know Stu sent me a note during the night that he had watched it because I had posted it yesterday. on my channel. Not having Android, I was really nervous about it myself, but and he said, well, he is not interested in. But I find when I started to play with it, most of what I do is not using any of the Android apps anyway. Now, if that's an issue, then hopefully they're going to eventually make that possible. This is their first release since they purchased Neverware's Cloud Ready.
Right. Go ahead, Dorothy.
Were you going to cover the Microsoft Office? Every time I update with the Play Store, it's got the Microsoft app
Yes.
that I obviously have installed, and I was just playing around with it.
I was going to do that. I was going to do that again. I was going to do it for this show today.
Okay,
I'll do that for next and cover
okay.
it.
No
just,
problem.
it just in an hour, it's sort of,
Yeah,
you
covered a lot today.
covered a lot. So it is ends up, but I'll do that. That's a good one. That's a good topic.
Yeah. Thank you.
In fact, my most famous video I ever made was one that was 4 or 5 years ago, and it was how to run Microsoft Office on a Chromebook. There's like 200,000 people have watched that, and it's old. It doesn't apply anymore. It's all outdated. So it's time to do another one.
Yeah, I'm running Office apps on mine, but no problem.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm still puzzled about this, why I don't have
Google Drive. Now, I haven't seen that, Bill.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, what it did is it comes up the failure, but when you go click on the icon, then it says go to office.com. So then I signed into my Microsoft account because I have a paid for version.
Right.
And then it gives me the online version, but I
Right.
don't know if that's.
Yeah, you've got in order to install it, I believe the apps on a Chromebook, you do have to have the paid version. You cannot the free version does. The free version doesn't install the programs anymore, I don't believe.
That's right. It's a progressive web app. So you can't, it's a PWA. You can't, in the old days, it used to have apps for the specific, like an app for Word, an app for Excel, but now it's all a PWA. It's a progressive Word app, which basically takes you back to the online version.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
boy, we threw a lot at them today, didn't we?
We did. Wow, we got an hour and a half. Yeah. So, well, just as I said to her, there's a lot of information. Go back, watch the replays, digest it. There's a lot of information in there that we put. So go back and have a look at that. And we'll get this video out to you probably by tomorrow. And it will be, it'll of course cover all what we've talked about. But specifically, if you want to watch the video I made and the video Huey made are already on our channel. So you can watch those, and it will be.
Yeah, mine is on my channel and Ron's is on the Tech for Senior channel.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next month.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.